Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
This is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. Today's movie, actually, this month, we're starting a new genre, if you want to call it that. We are watching summer movies. Not to be confused with summer blockbusters. We're thinking about doing that next month, but this is summer related, fun camp films. And to kick it off, we watched Meatballs from 1979.
Which I had no clue that this movie existed. But we are gonna give a little summary of it, which kind of like give everyone kind of know if you didn't know this movie existed. Here's a little tidbit of it. Meatballs is a 1979 comedian comedy film directed by Ivan Reitman. Is that how you say it?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and starring Bill Murray. It tells the story of Tripper Harrison, played by Murray, who leads a group of new counselors in training at Camp North Star. The camp is known for its practical jokes on the camp director, Morty Melnick, and its rivalry with the wealthy Camp Mohawk. The film follows Tripper as he helps a shy boy named Rudy gain confidence and start a romance with Roxanne, the girl's head counselor. Alongside this, various other counselors find love and friendship. The movie culminates in the annual Olympiad between Camp North Star and Camp Mohawk, where Tripper inspires his team to overcome their challenges and compete with heart. Meatballs is notable for launching Bill Murray's career in starring roles and for Ivan Reitman's direction, which would later include hits like Ghostbusters. It's a classic tale of summer camp adventures, camaraderie, and a spirit of competition. And I think that last little sentence,
hmm
very, very kind of like,
Encompasses the movie.
yeah, this is like a fun, goofy movie. I think, and
Yeah.
it's like the intro. Like I wrote down the intro when they're like painting. It reminds me of
hmm
like those like TV shows where like they like paint and they make a mistake and they like turn to the camera.
It reminded me of I don't know if you remember Bug Juice
Bug
from
juice.
Disney. Yeah, Bug Juice from Disney. It was this real world for kids following like this camp during the summer, and they did stuff like that. They showed all these highlights of what you could do at the camp and kids jumping into the lake and painting and fighting and dancing. That's what that intro reminded me of.
It's a very interesting movie, and it's funny that because it like it shows that it brought Bill Murray into like
hmm
kind of stardom basically, or like pushed him into like his roles that you kind of see going down the road, and I guess going into Ghostbusters with the same director kind of directing this film and Ghostbusters. But
Yeah,
you see why Bill Murray was like good at
that's
like
actually
taking
that's
center stage.
that's one of my notes. Is like watching this. So I didn't, like you said, I didn't know of this movie either until maybe 6 months ago. Because I'm a huge heavyweights fan, huge wet hot American summer fan, but for some reason this had never crossed like my path, like my view, until like 6 months ago. And watching other Bill Murray movies and then watching this, I was like, dude, Bill Murray is like the coolest person in the world. I don't know if it's just the characters or what he brings out of the characters he plays, but he is cool as shit in everything that he's in.
Yeah, and he plays it very well in this one too, because you
hmm
kind of see as to like his coolness, as you
Yeah,
say, comes off in like his trying to break the kind of shell that that little shy kid is in.
yeah,
Comes off very genuine, where it's like, oh, you kind of like approach it slowly and stuff, and like, hey, like life sucks and everything, but this camp is made for like enjoying the little bits right here
yeah.
and stuff.
Don't worry
Even
about
when he
what
like
people
tries
think
to run
about you.
away, yeah, he like messes
Like,
around and like, hey, what brings you around here?
you want some French fries?
Right. I wanted to ask you. I never did.
hmm
I unless I talked to my parents and they were like, "Yeah, you totally did. You just don't remember." Did you ever
Yeah.
go to summer camp or anything like that?
So Yes and no. I never went to a summer camp like this. I went to science camp
Oh,
in
nice.
elementary school. For whatever reason, my elementary school and actually some other ones in the area, because I've talked to like some people that went to school around here, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like in fifth grade, you go to science camp for like a week. So you and your classmates get on a bus with your teachers, and I think we were in like Santa Cruz Mountains or something, and we were at a camp for a week. No parents, except for like the parents that volunteered, and they're teaching you about redwood trees and slugs. There was this challenge, like, oh, if you lick a banana slug, we'll give you a sticker or some shit. And I guess the enzyme on the banana slug like numbs your
I think
tongue
so, right?
briefly. Yeah, so they're like, oh, if you do it, you get this. Then they had like night hikes. So I got a little taste of the experience, but not the full experience. But I
Not like this,
did.
right? Where it's like
No, no,
like
no,
a
no,
few
no.
months, right?
No. This was a week of a bunch of elementary school kids crying for their parents and then hiking and learning about the wilderness. But I did go to the YMCA though during the summer because both my parents were like at work and they were like, okay, well, he has to do something. So they sent me to the YMCA. And there's a moment, Morty is in the beginning, I think. Morty is doing his speech and he has a yellow shirt on. And it says, when the hand goes up, the mouth goes shut. And I started laughing when I saw it because that was like something that every single camp counselor in the YMCA would talk about.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of the experience.
Yeah, we like I feel like YMCA's are like inner city or like city like camps and
Hmm.
everything. Like it's good enough for or it's good for individuals that can't really travel away from their families and stuff.
Yeah.
Like growing up too, like we had a YMCA kind of club or like building like a couple blocks away from my grandparents' house. So like my parents knew that basically like, oh, we would be at my grandparents' house for the summer, but they would know that like we would kind of if we walked off and didn't see them for a little bit, we're at the YMCA down the street and stuff,
Okay.
and that's where we would kind of like, but nothing like this where it's like
Nah.
even for myself, like growing up and like going to elementary school and in my high school, we had retreats that were like maybe like I think in elementary school it wasn't a week, it was like a weekend or something like literally a few days. And then even in high school it was a retreat where it's like, but it was more since I grew up kind of like religious, it was religious retreats. So
Mhm.
we didn't lick slugs, we went to go talk to
you read
Jesus.
you read the good book. Weekend of just reading the good book.
Yeah. But it was like I don't know, like I don't think I've met anybody that went to like summer camps like this depicted in this movie, but like you kind of like I wish I did. Like
I
this
envy
looks
it.
so
Yeah.
fun.
I think it was too expensive though. Like the fact that Mohawk, they were like, it's $1,000, and that was in '79. It was a
Yeah,
thousand
right.
dollars a week, and you're like, who can afford that?
And for their
So
kids too.
yeah, just
Like
for your kid, like, hey, I don't want to see you for a whole summer. Get away from me. $1,000. So I think that was the issue, or that was one of the reasons why I never went. Was like, we're already paying for the YMCA. That's expensive enough. We're not sending you a freaking summer camp.
yeah, right. Like, but yeah, but it's like you're kind of amazed where it's like
Hmm.
stuff like this happens where you just kind of like, and you're like, I was like turning to Patty and I was like, Patty, like if we have children, like would you want to send away your kid for like three
I would.
months?
I'd be like, hey, I didn't get this experience. You get this experience.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
as
and then
much
but more
fun.
so you can walk around your house naked, probably.
Oh yeah. Like I just want to be with my wife. I don't want to hang out.
Yeah,
Like
and be
I
like, I'm
love you,
gonna
but
drink like
you can be away
crazy.
for a little bit. Just go on the dopest vacation for 3 months while your kid is gone.
I know you're
Kids
making good
calling you, you're like,
memories.
ugh. You just see your kid's picture pop up on your phone. You're like, ugh.
Yeah,
Why are they calling?
it's like a picture of him getting wedgied and everything.
Like I don't want to see you right now, man. You're away for 3 months. I'll see you after that 3 months.
Yeah, I was just very surprised, and I think that's like what adds to this movie, where it's like it's very goofy. There's like some weirdness, but it doesn't come off as like really weird. Like
Yeah.
weirdness, like I was talking about, or I was thinking about. It wasn't as weird as what was that one with Matthew McConaughey and they're like a bunch of like teenagers and stuff, and they're like that movie we watched. Um,
With McConaughey?
yeah, where he's like that creepy guy where he just comes and like he's like graduated high school like years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. Damn it. What is the name of that? Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and confused. So there was like raunchiness in this movie, but
Yeah.
it was very tame, and there's some things you question, but it's like it's nothing crazy. It's nothing like
Yeah.
you're not gonna get taken away by the experience of like these are just people in summer camp. People went to summer camp and became counselors, so then they can hook up with other people and
Yeah.
stuff, or like just meet other chicks or like dudes and stuff, and just kind of interact with people that's what happens and stuff. And then the little kids or the kids are there and stuff and
Trying to
everything. That
figure it out.
yeah, so it's like a shared experience and everything. So from what I assume, we never went. So
Yeah. We're living through these movies.
yeah, right.
The one thing I noticed like watching this, I guess watching it again, was I was able to like pick out references from movies that are more recent. So
Mm.
when they first get to the camp, no, when they're in the parking lot and everybody's trying to load up to like go to either that summer camp or go to Mohawk, there's this rich kid with his driver, and
On
the
the golf
driver's like
clubs.
taking his bags out. Yeah, taking his bags out, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of the Parent Trap. Parent Trap's one of my favorite movies. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but Parent Trap's one of my favorite movies. And when they first arrive at the camp, uh, the British twin, the British Lindsay Lohan, her driver is taking her bags out, and they have an interaction, and that reminded me of that. And then also Parent Trap. I literally am looking at my notes, and I have like Parent Trap, these references, heavyweights, these references. So that was one from Parent Trap. Parent Trap also did what they did to Morty. So when they were putting Morty in all these random places when he was sleeping, they did that in the Parent Trap with the Napa Lindsay Lohan, her father's girlfriend. The girls go on this hiking camping trip with their dad, and they are not fans of his new girlfriend, so they take her sleeping bag and everything and they put it out on the water, and that reminded me of what they were doing to Morty. And then heavyweights too, the battle of the camps at the end, it feels like that's a
Yeah,
very
yeah, that's like a
summery moment.
synonymous thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the rich camp versus the regular person camp, and then it's always like that underdog kid that has to win a race so that the regular person camp could be triumphant. So they had one of those moments too.
It almost seems like that type of like sequence of like them kind of having like this like end of summer kind of summer camp duel and everything of
Hmm.
like all these sports. It's very easy for if you're kind of like market this movie to like younger adults and stuff,
Yeah,
like kids in their teenage years and stuff. That's easy for them to understand that like, oh, that's where like teamwork also comes from,
yeah,
or like Bill Murray's speech of like, who cares if we suck, we suck, or if we lose, we lose. At least we're having fun together and stuff.
yeah,
And the rich people are trying to win, or the ones that are different are trying to win and for a purpose, but they're not taking anything away from this and stuff. Like at
yeah.
least we can, and all this stuff. So it's like I think that's like a story that is very understandable, right? It's like it's almost like a Pixar like sequence of stories where it's like, oh, that's very easy for everyone to understand and stuff,
Hmm.
and it's complex, but it tells its story fairly well that everyone can be like, oh, I get it, I
Like
get
I
it.
get it.
The
They're
little
building
one
self
ran four
esteem.
miles and beat all the beat all of them, and he
Beat a
broke out of
grown
his
man.
shell and stuff.
Dude, beat a grown man. That dude was like 25. Like,
Well, I was like thinking about the kid that or the one that came out of the car to like do the hot dog eating contest. I was
oh
like,
my goodness. That
how
dude
old is
was
that kid?
old. And he was huge. And just mowed just mowed down hot dogs, man.
Patty and I have always been like, oh, we should just join like an eating contest at some point and just see what happens.
Dude, that would be I don't even think I couldn't even fathom eating that many hot dogs or pies.
No, I can, but it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hate myself afterwards. It's
Oh,
gonna be
for
like
sure.
I'm gonna need to lay down for and do
I'm
exactly what
taking
the
a
guy
week off
did.
of work after that.
I know, right?
Like, I'll see you in a week. Like this has to digest. Well,
It-
the hot dog dude, one of them just retired. One of the
oh yeah, the
one of the
the the
championship
yeah, the
eating.
muscular dude, the one that he's like, I
Yeah,
think he posted on Twitter or like whatever you call it now. He's like, I'm finally full.
yeah, and that was his retirement. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Hey man, but Joey Chestnut's always there, so.
That's the truth. But I wonder what like health complications they have later in life. I guess we'll find out with these guys once they retire. But to eat that much food over time, it's
I guess so. I guess it's
ugh,
like that. Your doctor's probably gonna be like, "Don't do it,
like bro,
please." But
chill.
like, you're not gonna die, probably.
Yeah, you had 90,000 calories today. Like, relax.
Hey, what was interesting about this movie? Like you see, like these like movies from like the 70s and like the 80s and all this stuff. Like it really reminds you how bad diversity was in movies because there was no
There's
black or
no
brown
color.
kid.
Yeah, I didn't even
There
think
was
about that.
nothing, just a sea of white people.
Yeah,
But
oh
knowing it's
crap.
Canadian too, where it's like, yeah, Canadians have like native people that they have not been very nice to. So
No, but it's, I guess certain parts of Canada is pretty diverse. But yeah, I didn't even realize. I was just so like wrapped up in all the nonsense they were doing throughout the movie that I didn't even realize like, oh, there's no people that look like us.
yeah, but it's like it maybe because it's like it like very like the question I asked in the beginning of this, where it's like, have you ever been to a summer camp? It's like, no,
Yeah.
like we're both black and brown people, and it's like we know that YMCA that's
Hmm.
something that like is inside of cities technically and typically, but that's where I was like, and then like you remember how like even nowadays, like even present day in 2024, we're still trying to weed out the subtle racism of like Camp Mohawk and doing the
Oh
tomahawk and
yeah.
everything. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
man, we were horrible people back then.
We didn't even think about it. We were just like, hey,
Yeah, hey man, we
that's our
conquered those
past.
people.
We're using it again. They were strong, but they
Everyone there was
lost.
like, they decided to leave. Like, oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's where it's like it was so funny. But like I like thinking about like this movie, it's like it's very goofy. It's a very
Hmm.
straightforward movie. It's like it's not something that you're gonna watch and you're like, oh, I'm watching this to learn something. I'm watching this. I'm more so watching this movie to like have fun and have
Yeah.
a goofy. Like yesterday, Patty and I had a long ass day. Like we're out talking to people and all that. Like I don't like talking to people,
Social
but
battery died.
yes, but then I came home and everything, and we made ourselves dinner, and then we watched it, and it was like instantly, like Patty was like, "Oh, that was a good movie."
Yeah. But you always need that. Like we haven't had a month of just fun movies. Like it's been action and drama and
Yeah.
foreign films. This month is full of just fun. You can turn your brain off and just enjoy what's on the screen.
What you expect summer is, because like
Hmm.
that's literally what we all did for the
As kids,
summertime.
not now. Yeah.
Yeah, I still.
Now you got to
It's
wake up and go
technically
to work and all
it's
that.
summertime now. I'm like I'm still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you see it in all these like movies where like kids are coming out of school for the summertime and they're
Hmm.
throwing away all their books. All
Oh, all of
they're
it.
like dumping their backpack in the trash bin. And
That's what they did in heavyweights. They're just
yeah,
like throwing papers everywhere in the halls, and it's like, what?
yeah.
You need to keep
So
the book because the kids next year are using that same book. What are you doing?
no, but
Like, no,
but
f that
literally
kid.
like
Like,
you come off to like 3 months, maybe 3 months, right? Of like I'm
hmm
gonna do nothing
nothing.
and just sit around, and that's why I play video games still today.
Yeah. What did we? Yeah, I was at the YMCA during the week, and then during the weekend, it was just like hanging around the house, playing outside. A little bit of video games here and there, but like playing outside.
Yeah, just go outside.
Yeah.
Just stare at the sun if you need to.
Get out of the house. Like just leave. Go meet somebody. Like, get out of here,
Yeah.
please.
I don't know. What do you see as like a negative to this movie, or like what like other than it being like I don't know, like that's my opinion, where it's like you're not expecting this movie to be good or like
Mm-mm.
a fantastic movie. Like Bill Murray shines in this movie like
Yeah.
out of everyone else. Like, and you look at it with, and when I looked up all the people that played in this movie,
Oh, they're not
Bill
doing
Murray's like
anything.
the only one that has done
Yeah.
anything, and the
And
rest of them
Ivan
is like
Reitman, the
nothing.
director. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, it's like yeah, you're not expecting a lot from this movie. You're expecting a fun time.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Like, I didn't have anything that was like, oh, I dislike this from the film because of that. It was one of those ones. I'm turning it on. I don't expect much, but I know I'm going to enjoy it when I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from there. There was nothing that like was nitpicky or like, oh, wow, why did they do that for this film? It was like, it is what it is.
Actually, one of the scenes that I was like I know it's like probably vomit fuel for a bunch of people, but the way that they shot the running through the forest during the last kind of race sequence, like
Yeah.
it made the tension and everything like show the feet. Like you wonder
Mm-hmm.
how they did that. Like they're like running through and they're only showing the feet, and then it cuts to the kid and everything, or the dude just kind of like wailing around, like trying to like catch his breath and everything. I was like, it reminded me of, like those old like those horror movies where like the chick is like running around
Oh, and then
the
falls.
woods, yeah, and they're like tripping
Yeah.
over things, and then you see the subtle feet of like the guy
Just
just
slowly
like
walking. They're like, there's no way this person's gonna catch this person running. It's like, oh, 2 seconds later,
so
stabbed. It's like, all right.
so I guess you do see some reason for like Ivan to be seen as like, oh, like he goes on and does the Ghostbusters movie, which is
Yeah.
like synonymous with Bill Murray and the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
and so like
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd and everything. So yeah, I think you kind of see some bits, and this is a very good movie in terms of like fun and engaging for a guy to go on and do a very kind of like worldwide
Yeah. They're still making
popular
them
movie.
now.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I was very impressed. Uh, who do you
So what'd you
recommend
rate
this
it?
movie? Well,
Yeah,
I
what'd you
was
rate it?
rated. I gave it a two and a
Uh-huh.
half.
Okay. I gave it a 3. We've talked about it before. Like for comedies, if it makes me laugh and I'm willing to watch it like in the future, I'll give it a 3, just like a blanket. Like, oh, 3 is good enough. So yeah, I'm like in between 2.5 and 3, but I give it a 3.
Yeah, I probably didn't laugh as much and everything. Maybe it's the
Mm-hmm.
Canadian humor and everything. We're Americans. No, no.
Yeah. I need
but,
dick jokes and stuff like that.
but I think maybe that's probably why it's like you can still watch this movie today and not feel as awkward as like
Oh
some of
yeah.
the American stuff
Yeah,
from
if you
like
watch Porky's, you're like, dude, how did
yeah,
they get
you're like,
away
holy
with
crap.
this?
No wonder
Weird
America is
science
like
too. Like,
crazy.
yeah, they got away with some shit in the U.S. back in the day.
Yeah, still do, but
True, true.
uh yeah, in terms of that, like who do you recommend this to? Like I probably like I don't know if I wouldn't even recommend this to my parents, but like our friends, I think, because they're still
Yeah,
sort of like they're our
we're all
age and everything.
kids.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
just dumb people and everything.
I think this is any comedy fan would enjoy this. Like it's a different style of comedy than we're used to for movies that are coming out now or that are out now.
Mhm.
But I think a comedy fan would love this.
Or also like if you're like Bill Murray's your
Oh
dude and
yeah,
everything, you're
that's a
like
given.
and you're watching like Groundhog Day or like
The
what's that
Ghostbuster
golf movie, the
series.
Ghostbuster series and stuff, and you're like, where did Bill Murray come from?
Yeah,
And I think this is probably like your best way to kind of see, all right, now you get why Bill Murray has been in all these movies that we watched
yeah.
and stuff.
Caddyshack is that golf movie.
Caddyshack, there you go.
Yeah,
So yeah, so you kind of see as to like how he kind of became the Bill Murray that we know today
yeah.
and stuff.
He's in Zombieland too. I just thought about
Yeah,
that.
right. He's
Yeah,
Bill Murray.
he's Bill Murray in Zombieland. Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know if you watched this movie. It's called Meatballs. The whole time we were gonna get ready to watch this movie, I thought we were watching Spaceballs.
That's two totally different movies.
Yeah, right.
Summer
So
camp versus space.
yeah, so let us know if you watched Meatballs with Bill Murray in the comments, if you liked it, disliked it, what you thought about the comedy, what you thought about Bill Murray early on in his career. And Kai, want to take us out?
Yeah,
I
I
almost
thought you were
forgot.
gonna forget. Yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason. I'll be back next week with another one. And please like and subscribe to Saturday Night Popcorn for more podcasts like these.